Alright, what's up everyone, I'm Loki, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about this top 5 NFL teams of the decade list that came out from the Football Outsiders that's basically everywhere on the internet right now. As you can see, the list has the 2013 Seahawks at number 1, the 2010 Patriots at number 2, the 2015 Seahawks at number 3, the 2012 Seahawks at number 4, and the 2019 Baltimore Ravens at number 5. Now this list of the top 5 teams of the decade is definitely having a lot of arguments against it. There are a lot of people that think that the 2015 Seahawks and the 2012 Seahawks shouldn't be there. There's a lot of people saying that the 2019 Baltimore Ravens shouldn't be there as well. I think that there's a common consensus that the 2013 Seahawks and the 2010 Patriots should definitely be on that list, at least somewhere. Maybe not the places that they're being, but I think that the Seahawks should be number 1 personally. You know, I might be a little bit biased because I'm a Seahawks fan and I watched that season and I enjoyed every single second of the Super Bowl. Everyone I know says that that Super Bowl was the most boring Super Bowl because it was just one-sided, but I thought that that Super Bowl was pretty fun to watch because the Seahawks were just destroying the Broncos. But that year in 2013, we had the number 1 defense in the league and a top 10 offense, so there was almost a guarantee that this would be one of the best teams of the decade, at least should be on this list. Number 1, there's a bit of an argument that can be made for other teams, but I think that it is fair because the 2013 Seahawks, they did very well in the regular season. They had the number 1 defense in the league, top 10 offense, and then they dominated in the Super Bowl. And going down to number 2 on this list, the 2010 New England Patriots. I think the Patriots kind of have to be on this list somewhere. They're probably one of the most dominant teams of the decade just in general. Every single year, they're always finding success. That might change now that Tom Brady is gone, but the Patriots, they had to be on there somewhere. Maybe the 2014 Patriots could have been there because they won the Super Bowl, or any other year that they won the Super Bowl, but the Patriots had to be on this list. Maybe not number 2, but 2010 Patriots were definitely a very good team, and the Patriots have to be on the top 5 list just somewhere, and number 2, I'm willing to give them it easily. Now going to number 3, this is where a lot of the controversy comes in with this list. The 2015 Seattle Seahawks, there's a lot of people saying that the 2015 Broncos should have been there, the 2015 Panthers should have been there, and I think honestly, as a Seahawks fan, I would be willing to take out the 2015 Seattle Seahawks at number 3 and put in the 2015 Carolina Panthers. Because although the Panthers didn't really do well in the Super Bowl, they kind of choked that. They did absolutely amazing throughout the regular season and throughout the playoffs up until the Super Bowl. So I think that team dominated, just absolutely dominated the league that year. And I think they definitely deserve that. They did choke in the Super Bowl, like I said, but just the dominance that they had in the regular season and going up through the playoffs to the Super Bowl, you kind of have to recognize that, and you have to put them at least somewhere in this top 5. And seeing as though they're nowhere in the top 5, I think that they should definitely be in there somewhere, and I'd be willing to give them the number 3 slot, but I think that that slot could also go to the Broncos in 2015, which was a pretty historic defense. Going into number 4, I think that that could be the Broncos as well. I think that 2015 Seahawks could be replaced by 2015 Panthers, and 2012 Seahawks at number 4 could be replaced by 2015 Broncos. I think the 2013 Seattle Seahawks should definitely be number 1. You know, might be a little bit biased, but I think that they were very dominant throughout the season. But the Panthers and the Broncos in 2015 were both great teams, and I think that they should definitely be on this list. And going into number 5, this is where a lot of the issues come up on this list, is the 2019 Baltimore Ravens. This was last year where they didn't win a single playoff game. Yes, they had one of the most entertaining and one of the most effective offenses in the league, but they really did not find any success in the playoffs because the Titans really figured them out. And Derrick Henry is just a monster. He just could not be stopped in the entirety of the playoffs, basically. I think the thing with this selection is that the Football Outsiders, the people who made the list, wanted to put a newer team in because almost every single other team on this list would be 2015 and before, and I think that they wanted to put someone after that. I think that the 2019 Baltimore Ravens isn't a great selection for this. If you're going to put the 2019 Baltimore Ravens, you might as well put the 2019 or 2018 Kansas City Chiefs. Those were 2 very good teams, and they just won the Super Bowl last year, so I think if you're going to measure dominance or success or being the best team in the decade, you have to put Super Bowl somewhere in it. You can't have a team who does well in the regular season but then completely chokes in the playoffs and doesn't win a single playoff game. I don't think that that would classify as one of the best teams of the decade. But when it comes to this number 5 pick, I think the Ravens are probably the wrong team to go for. If you want to keep it a recent team, then I would probably go with the Kansas City Chiefs in either 2018 or 2019. They were both very good teams in both years. but 2019 they won the Super Bowl, and the Ravens didn't have any playoff success. I mean, the Ravens, they were a very good regular season team. They were very fun to watch. They were entertaining, and they were very successful in the regular season. But once they got figured out in the postseason, they really did not do very well. And the Chiefs, I mean, they ran air raid for 2 years straight, and no one could stop them. So I think if you want to keep it a more recent team, the number 5 slot should definitely be a Kansas City Chiefs, either 2018 or 2019 team. But honestly, looking at this list and only seeing the Patriots one time when the Patriots pretty much dominated the entirety of the decade, I think you could basically put any Patriots team on the number 5 slot and no one would bat an eye. So me personally, when it comes down to this list, I think there are definitely some changes in the second half that could be made. But I think number 1 being the 2013 Seahawks makes sense, and number 2 being the 2010 Patriots team makes sense as well. Both of those teams were very good teams and found success. And I mean, it might be biased that I think that the Seahawks should be number 1, but that team, that Super Bowl dominance, I think garners number 1, and the number 1 defense and a top 10 offense is very hard to compete against when it comes to success in a season. So I think that those 2 spots make sense. Number 3, I would personally go for the 2015 Carolina Panthers. Although they did not win the Super Bowl, they did pretty well up in the playoffs until the Super Bowl, and the regular season, I mean, they just dominated. They did insanely well in the regular season, so I think you just kind of have to respect that and give them that spot. Number 4, I would say the 2015 Broncos. They had a great defense, and they basically shut down almost every single team that they played. And number 5, I would say either a recent Kansas City Chiefs team, 2018 or 2019, or really just any Patriots team. I think that you have to respect the Patriots throughout this decade because with Tom Brady, they basically had a successful season every single year. They really did not have a down year. So I think you just have to respect that. You have to respect that team, and I think that the Patriots should be on this list probably twice because, I mean, they're only on here once, but I would not bat an eye, and I don't think most NFL fans would bat an eye if the Patriots were on here multiple times. But the Seahawks being under 3 times, I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, the whole Legion of Boom days, all those years that are on there, I think that we were very good, but honestly, I don't think that 2015 and 2012 should be number 3 and number 4 of the decade. But what do you think? I think that there are definitely some changes that can be made to this list. I think number 1 and number 2 are definitely good, but 3, 4, and 5 can definitely be changed. And I said my list. What do you think your list would be for the top 5 teams of the decade? And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Also, follow my Twitch if you want to support me in that. I'll probably start streaming sometime in July. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a great day.